Welcome to Tell Me More, the Allsteel podcast where design meets innovation and we explore the limitless potential of workspaces. In this exclusive series, we're peeling back the layers of workplace design. From the psychology of colors to the future of hybrid work, join us as we open doors to conversations with industry leaders, architects, and designers who redefine the modern workplace. This is Tell Me More, brought to you by Allsteel, because when it comes to designing the future, there's always more to discover.
Hi there, and welcome to the Tell Me More podcast. My name is Jordan Arnold, and I'm a Senior Workplace Advisory Manager with Allsteel. And I'm here today with two fantastic gentlemen to talk about co-solutioning a little bit. So co-solutioning as in working together with kind of diverse minds, brands, businesses to kind of make an idea stronger. And so we're here to talk about that a little bit today. In order to do that, I'd love to throw it over to Eric and Peter to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about who they are and what about this idea of co-solutioning or collaboration across brands and businesses gets them excited. So Eric, why don't we start with you?
Sure. I'm Eric Pfeifer. I'm the founder and creative director at Corral. We are a US-based design and manufacturer, partner brand to Allsteel. I have been in the furniture design business for over 25 years as primarily a designer. And Corral was launched about 8 years ago as a way to kind of address the market in a little bit different way than I was doing previously, where I was designing product, handing product over to other manufacturers and letting them run with it. And so Corral was a way to control that a little bit more and also, embrace that idea of these tailored solutions or co-solutioning and working together with either people in the market or other companies that were doing interesting things. So for us, it's part of our DNA of this idea of co-solutioning and something we've been doing for quite some time.
And you like it?
So far.
So far, so good. All right, Peter, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Peter Simonsen, and I'm the CEO of Kvadrat, really, which is a textile board based on textile waste. I'm also the CEO of the production facility that makes the board, so I sort of wear two hats. I've been with Kvadrat, the textile company, for 40 years with a little bit of a break in the middle. But I was hired this year, 40 years ago, and has been, of course, growing with the company and seeing all the challenges that textile waste has. And this is one of the answers to do something about not only waste from the furniture industry, but also waste primarily from the fashion industry.
Excellent. So the kind of framework and kind of why this podcast came about and why it's the two of you sitting here to have this discussion is because we're kind of framing it around the conversation related to Pier Shelving. So a launch from Corral within these last few years that tells a really nice story within this co-solutioning framework. So either one of you, whoever wants to kind of start talking a little bit about what you went through, kind of what this process looked like to develop Pier Shelving and how you guys collaborated and worked together. Thinking about the materiality on Peter's side and the design on Eric's.
Yeah, maybe I'll kick it off. I think, so Peter and I met through a mutual friend, Brian Graham, who's also the co-designer of this product. And, as a company, of course, quarter our being is developing products that are sustainable, and that really comes around design, but we're always looking for new materials and people doing new things. And one of the challenges with new materials is a lot of them are not exactly ready for prime time.
Yeah.
So you want to be, moving to the market quickly. You want to do something innovative and new, but a lot of times the materials are not quite ready for true production. And so meeting Peter and the team there obviously is a little bit different because we got introduced to a brand new technology, a brand new way of making and recycling, textile waste, which was very exciting for us. And so to be able to it was early for them, but it also was something that they could actually produce at scale and in a factory. That is something where it's super important for us because we've got to have this, ability to continue to produce. So, so that initial meeting and trying to understand more about the material was a great way for us to kind of kick this off and be able to be introduced to a brand new approach to sustainability. And I think Peter can probably speak more to the material than I can, but I think for us it was like something brand new, something that not anybody in the US was really addressing. And so we were able to jump on it as a small company that can move quickly.
Yeah. You were kind of inspired by Peter's work and what the team had done and kind of took that into the design process.
Yeah, and I think it was incredibly exciting what they were doing and to be part of those early conversations of like, how do you bring this product into the US? What does that look like? And then, we can talk about it later, but, obviously, how do we use the material and what is the right application, which that's a whole nother conversation. But I think being kind of on that front end of seeing what can be done and also being exposed to something that no one else, I think, is doing in the world.
Well, let's not keep him in the dark anymore about what we're talking about. Peter, can you tell us a little bit about the materiality, kind of the process and how you came to where you landed and what's so special about it?
Yes, I would love to. And it's been a very long and hard journey. I think I'd like to start with sustainable products, like true sustainable products. It's always a compromise somehow, because you want to create a product that is one-to-one with a virgin-based product. And we have to start thinking about, in a world, not to just cut down trees and just building new things and keep harvesting. We actually need to use and reuse more of our existing products. And one of the products that we have developed is this textile board, which is made of 70% textile waste. That means in every square meter board we make, there's about 60 t-shirts or 45 pair of jeans in a square meter of textile. And then we use a textile fiber to bind it together, which is also a waste binder. So all in all, it's 100% recycled product made from 100% waste. And of course, the long journey has been that if you buy a particle board or an MDF board, it has properties, it has strengths, it has all kinds of properties that you want to resemble in this new waste product. And this is like, I always compare it to an electric car. You need to think about, where do I charge? How far can I go? All these things. It's never the same. The experience of driving the car could be even better than a petrol-driven car, but it is a different scenario. It's a different scenario. And we need to be aware of that as consumers and as clients and so forth and so forth. So the compromise is that it might only be 95% similar to a virgin-made product, but the story that we tell, the impact it has on the environment, is that we probably have a 40 to 50% lower CO2 impact per square meter in the finished product than a virgin product would have. But that's just one thing. The other thing is that we don't have a forest at the end of the century or next century or whatever, if we keep cutting trees down. So we need to start thinking in a different way. And this is one of the solutions, simply to use what we make in overflow. We make too much textiles, we make too many t-shirts, and this fast fashion are of course the big sinners, without throwing anybody under the bus. But I think everybody know that, and we need simply to do something about it. And taking that and making t-shirts or uniforms or any other products that we can take that are textile based and actually make shelving, tabletops, or any other product similar to that is I think it give me goosebumps, and I work with it every day, but it does.
Peter, was there like a moment that inspired you and the team to start moving in this direction?
I think the Kvadrat organization, which is the owner of Kvadrat, really is our CEO is very, very forward thinking, and 10 years ago we started working in this direction with sustainability, and it's now a part of our DNA. It's driving everything we do. From every person we have, I think maybe 100 salespeople. They all drive electric cars. Everything is like it's in our DNA. It's in our culture to reduce and reuse. And so that was when this started back in 2014-15 as an idea, and then it became a product in 18-19. A real product that you can hold in your hand, and now we got a full-scale, large-scale solution production facility that can actually cope with that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Eric, you mentioned this idea that there's this kind of there's this material, right, that you're inspired by, that you want to do something with, but that requires consideration of how to use it, right? Like, we've got this thing we want to use, we got to figure out how to use it. So talk to me a little bit about that process for you for Pier Shelving.
Yeah, so a lot of times when you start a product brief and figure out, okay, here's what we're going to do, it's usually solving a problem. It's like, here's a problem we have in the office. We're going to figure out how to solve that, whether that's a soft seating element, whether that's a steel metal thing. Like, the materials don't always begin the conversation. This one was the opposite. We didn't have a problem. We needed to bring the material into the conversation, and the material started the conversation. It was really like, okay, here we've got this amazing material. Let's think about it through our lens, through our market, kind of the solutions and problems we're solving for in the office, which is a lot around space definers and creating flexible spaces and creating neighborhoods and things like that. And so we kind of had this amazing material that told a great story about sustainability, but we just don't want to take that material and we needed people to want this. It's just there's no reason in just, oh, cool material, let's do something really great that photographs and we get some press. That's not enough. We need a product that actually people will buy, use, and continue to use. And our motto, we don't ever want our products to be recycled. We want them to last forever. It's the most sustainable thing you can do. So with that in mind, we started with this product, and we started this journey, myself and Brian as co-designers of it, of great material, understanding what it can do, what are the limitations, how is it compared to other materials that we might look at, and then took that into kind of the discussion, and then really started thinking about, okay, here are some problems that we're experiencing right now in the office, and how do we apply that material to what we want to solve. And so different sort of starting point, but again, we've got to a solution that we think works great for our customers. So we were able to take a material and align it with a real problem in the office and solve it with something that is completely different than that's out there because of the materiality. And also the way we design the product, trying to reduce as much material as possible. It's very lightweight steel. It's got these floating shelves, and it's really celebrating this material because we want people to see it. We want them to see the texture, the how it's different, and be able to tell that story. So a little bit different journey, but ultimately we've got to a point where we are creating something that is needed, something that people will use and continue to hopefully use into the future.
I love it. Peter, what was your impression as you kind of went through this journey where, Eric gets to experience the material, gets inspired by it, works to build this product and design around the materiality, and then kind of ultimately outputs this product? What was your kind of impression of Pier? What was your kind of, I guess, feedback to Eric? This is the honesty moment. Like, do we like it? Yeah, right here publicly. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I if I could just say one thing a little bit helicopter wise is that I think sometimes you bring products to the market that the clients are looking for. Sometimes the manufacturers and the designers bring products to the market that we need to educate the clients to actually use.
Sure.
I think actually that the time here is on you could say on our side, because a lot of our clients are already educated, and a lot of our clients are actually demanding that we start. I'm thinking about me and Eric together here, but I mean, that we actually can deliver something that the market demand, and the market, especially for the institutions and the government, we see that very, very strongly in Europe. You can't even get to the table and have a conversation if you can't deliver on certain parameters. And I think that's going to be a global thing with ESG and CSR and everything that's coming in, that you actually need to have answers to a lot of these questions. And I think what we struggle with is sometimes that our partners, in this case Corral, that they understand what we are trying to do. But Corral did understand this very well, and Eric jumped on it right from the beginning, where a lot of other clients are not willing to go across the river to get the water, because it's let's see. And I am 100% convinced that in 2 years, if they are not there, they will not be here. And this is a strong statement. And of course, I'm not saying that about big companies, but I'm still saying that Kodak doesn't exist anymore, and Nokia doesn't exist anymore. And I'm not passing judgment on any of these things, but I'm just saying we need to be alert. And Eric and Corral actually loved this product and thought this could answer some of the prayers in a certain respect to deliver a more sustainable product that was truly sustainable and not just based on greenwashing certificates or other things that were like that a lot of people, to be honest, do. This is actually based on real stuff, real waste. That's being threaded, put together again. No use of chemicals, no use of water, no use of nothing. It's mechanical processes that's just literally pressed together again with a one-to-one performance to a virgin thing. And I'm not saying that we can't find clients like that, but it's lovely to work with clients who actually understands that and who wants to go the extra mile with the compromises that it always has.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think, Peter, what I hear from what you're saying is that it's important that we push each other, right? It's important that we are constantly evolving. We are seeing organizations that are not necessarily evolving as necessary and aren't finding success. And so oftentimes we need to lean on each other, right? To press forward, to see new ways of exploring and thinking. And that kind of leads me to this last question that I have for you guys, which is, what would have been different if you didn't have each other within this pursuit, right? Like, what would have been different? I think, Peter, you shared a little bit about maybe partnering with individuals or organizations that don't see that value or aren't partnering on that same level, and the output would be different. Eric, I mean, you wouldn't have the material that we're talking about here, but just maybe a few thoughts on this idea of kind of using each other to evolve and press forward, and what it would look like if we didn't have that.
Yeah, for me, it's actually in this particular product, and this collaboration is Corral in this case is for us a first mover. It's like when you enter a new country with a new product, there's a lot of stumbling blocks, and there's a lot of testing and BIF regulations and everything that you have to comply with. We actually now we actually had just passed the testing for the UL fire testing and everything. So now we are all good for desking as well. But for us, Corral was first mover on using the product. And we had sort of a presence with Corral and also with the partners of Corral, which has been incredibly important for us. Now we need to make the next step and need to also start educating the dealers. I don't think we need so much the clients, but it's like with a lot of other sales situations and marketing situations is that a lot of people tend to go with the easy solution because because we don't have to talk about it because we know what we talk about, and we could get up on a thin ice if we start talking about something we don't really know about. So I think the next step for us is to take that to the next step with the dealers and the partners and try to let people understand what a great product we have and where that can actually take us. And I also think that addressing this subject, addressing this story with a good sustainable story is going to enhance everything for us, also as people working with it. So I'm thrilled to work with Corral on this, and I'm thrilled to take the next step and see where it takes us.
Excellent.
I think for us, obviously, Jordan, I wouldn't be on this podcast if we didn't have.
And your life would just not be as rich because you wouldn't be here.
No, exactly. So, thank you, Peter and Kvadrat. No, I think for us, obviously, I love making. I love factories. I think this material, when we were first introduced to it, the reason why we jumped so quickly is the process of making is just fascinating. The grinding of the textile. I mean, it's just this very exciting process, and making of the beds and the compression, all of that stuff is just such a great story. And so it's why we move so quickly. And I think for us, obviously, we're always looking for what is, we can't have these greenwash products, and there's a lot of things out there like that. And this was, for us, it was a real story, a real product. It supported everything that we're trying to do as a company. So that was, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking about this thing. And it's also kind of set us in another path. I mean, we're not we're started here, and we want to do more with this material, but we also are seeking out other materials and frankly, a lot of them are coming from Europe because I think they're getting more pressure than we are.
Sure.
And that is challenging. We are a small company, which is beneficial in that we can move quickly as opposed to some of the larger manufacturers out there, but also we're resource challenged. And so, trying to make put all these things together and make it work, I think is hard for us, but we are able to move quickly. And I think, hitting on what Peter was mentioning about the education part, for us, the next step here is really trying to get people as excited about the material as we are.
Yeah.
And communicating here is how this is made. Here is how many t-shirts go into this one shelf, and trying to get that story out there, because I think a lot of us and a lot of our customers fall into, they're very excited about sustainability. They want to tell that story. They want to their end users are talking about this, and then we get bogged down in pricing and this, and how can we make this work? And so we're at the front end of a lot of these new materials, and so we've got to everyone has to be on board. It just can't be Corral and Kvadrat, and it's got to be our customers as well. So how do we take that passion? How do we take that understanding of the material and what it can do, and educate the public, whatever that looks like in our world, to adopt and be and actually, the other thing that I didn't touch on, what was so exciting about this material is that a lot of times people, sustainable material, it's going to be 30% more, so more expensive. This is not the case with this product, which is, to me, it was cost parity with our other finishes. And so it's a great story, and it's an easy thing to sell to people and to talk about this amazing material, because you can just take the price off the table. Don't worry about that. Just buy into this material and think about how this might be on your project.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys for spending some time chatting about co-solutioning today, talking about unique and meaningful materiality, evolving needs as we think about kind of how we design and how we consider sustainability, but also ultimately partnership, working together and being challenged by each other. So thank you guys so much for your time today and chatting on the Tell Me More podcast. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of another fascinating episode of Tell Me More. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of design and innovation. If you're hungry for more insights and stories, make sure to subscribe to Tell Me More on your preferred podcast platform. As we sign off, remember that the conversation doesn't end here. Connect with us on social media at Allsteel and share your thoughts, questions, or even your favorite moments from the podcast. We love hearing from our engaged and curious audience. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll continue exploring the Design to Do More philosophy. Until then, thanks for listening.